Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Akakwadash. Those are the true names of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yahawah is the Father's true name. That means He is, He exists. Bahasham means in the name. Yahawashi is the Son's true name. That means He saves, He delivers. But Bahasham, once again, in the name. Rakah equals spirit, and Kwadash equals holy. All right, so that's how you say the Holy Spirit. This is all in the Paleo Hebrew, also known as the Ancient Hebrew, or the Lashawan Kwadash. Lashawan equals language or tongue. Kwadash equals holy. Okay? At the end of the day. So those are the correct ways that you give praises and honor to your power, man. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. All praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kadash. Or call, which is all, K-A-L, and Halalyam, H-A-L-A-L-Y-A-M, which H-A-L-A-L is praise. You add a Y-A-M to it, it's praises. So call Halalyam, all right, all praises. La, which means to, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kadash. So call Halalyam, La, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kadash. All right. So let's keep it going, man. Second of all, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well in sincerity, taught us this truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3 men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. It's your brother Urami Kazak back, but hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kadash. This one will be a Q&A, right? A question and answer, right? So any different type of questions that individuals have been having, things of that nature, hey, I encourage you to ask them right now, man. You know, any type of questions, anything pertaining to the scriptures, I will open to answer. Right, as always, as every lesson, you know, but more so this is specifically for questions and answers, right? So the floor is open, man, in the comments for anybody that has questions and answers pertaining to the Bible, okay? Pertaining to the Bible. I'll give about, maybe about 2 minutes, and if not, then I'll go into something. But questions and answers. Anybody has any questions? All right. Okay, to this sister, say I'm just passing through. I would, because your name is Yuda. Now, let's talk about that real quick. Okay, sister? It's no you in the Hebrew. Okay? There's no you in the Hebrew. And you're saying all praises to the utmost high Yah. That's not his name. Almighty Yahawashi I am. All right, so let's go into that real quick. Let's try to help this sister out. Okay? Let's go to the Hebrew language. And let's actually get the correct and the proper Hebrew language. Because there's a lot of confusion out there that the white man has put out. He's put out these U's, these O's, these E's, these V's, these J's, and these F's, okay? Yeah, you say it's no J. Yeah, I agree with you. It's no J, you know? So how you would say Judah, it would be Yahawah. Yahawah, right? Yahawah, okay? And nobody in here calls on Jesus. She said, like Jesus. We don't call on Jesus. All right? Now let's go to the Hebrew language. Okay? Right here. And I'm going to read it off for you. It starts with Ah, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka. Okay? La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and Tha. Right? So as you see, it's no you in this language at all. Now you have to ask yourself, so where did Yuda come from? Because you're saying Yuda. right? I'm gonna tell you exactly where it came from. It came from a white man. And his name is Eleazar ben Yehuda. This individual right here, he gave you the U, the O, the V, and the E in the Hebrew. All right? Around the 1800s. As you can see, he was born in January 17, 1858. He died in December 16, 1922. Now, what is his legacy? He's known as bringing back the Hebrew language. All right? This white guy, you know. And all he really did was brought us German dialect, Slavic dialect, and Hebrew together. All right? You said I haven't proved Yuda. I have off the rip. What do you mean? It's no U in the Hebrew. Okay, sister? I'm going to read it for you one more time. Let's go through this one more time. Because I feel like does everybody else in here understand what I'm saying? It's no U in the alphabet. A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka. Right? La, ma, na, sa, I, pa, taza, kwa, ra, sha, and tha. So, once again to the sister, it's no U. You said I haven't proved it's no Yuda. It's no U. It's no U. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't proved it. It's right here. Everybody else is getting it, man. It's not hard to memorize, bro. Once you start, I would suggest write it down. You know, write it down and you'll get it off the rip. Now let's go to the word Judah. Let's go to the word Judah in the book of Genesis. She keeps saying there's no J. Yeah, it's no J. Did I say anything about a J? I didn't. I didn't say nothing about a J. Okay? So let's go to Genesis 29 and 35. And she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, now will I praise Yahawah. Therefore she called his name Yahawah and left bearing. Now let's go into that. Right here. It's H3063. H3063. And this is what? This is Yahawah. It's not Yehodah. It's not Yahudah. Okay? Okay? It means Yahawah is praised. So this would be Yah, and this would be Ha. Yahawah da ha. Yahawah da ha. Yahawah da. Yahawah da. Now I'm going to furthermore take it and break it down. Okay? I'm going to furthermore take it and break it down so you can actually understand it. And actually at this point, I see that you're not getting it because you're in the comments being contentious when you should really be quiet and listen. Okay? So, Yahawah. So, let's go into it. As I said, the first letter would be what? Yah. Let's go to Yah. As you can see this. Yahawah. Yah. That's Y-A. Y-A. That's Yah. That's Yah. Okay? Yah. And then the next letter would be Ha. 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 Yaha. Yaha. And then it would be what? As you can see, Ha. And then Yahawah. It would be Wa after that. Where's the Y? Wa. Yahawah. Alright? And then what would be after that? A Da. Yahawah. And then Ha. Once again. Yahawah. Ha. Yahawah. See? So, yeah, it's not Judah and it's not Yudah. It's Yahawah. Okay? You know, but your comprehension skills are, you know, she's not getting it. That's okay, though. Okay? This is not for you, sister. This truth is not for you. All right? Because you can't even, you know. You say, what have you point out? Why? LOL. Yeah, she's slow. She's just slow, guys. Okay, once again. Does everybody else understand? Yeah, we live every day, man. Does everybody else understand it's Yahawah, right? Everybody else in the comments other than this individual. Okay, thank you. They get it. Everybody else in here get it other than Yuda. Okay? Okay, well, I'll see you later then. You can get up out of here. You know? So, hey, keeping it going, this is once again a Q&A. Does anybody else have any different type of questions? And yeah, perfect scripture for her. This is Job 39:17. Because everybody else in here got it but her. Because power hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. So the Most High just ain't gonna give it to her. He ain't gonna make it understandable to her. She's not gonna get it, you know? Instead, she's gonna listen to this guy. Alright? She's gonna listen to this guy. Okay? If you have a question, don't tell me you have a question. Just ask the question. Just a Q&A. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I hate when people say that. I have a question. I'm like, just ask the damn question, man. It's like you gonna say I have a question, and I'm gonna be like, nah, don't ask that shit. You know? Come on, man. just ask the question. Yeah, kind. So that sister, if she was even a sister, would rather listen to this goofy, you know, versus us. Okay? At the end of the day. All right? The brother Amana wa Allah said, is the Holy Spirit the same with wisdom? What you mean? Is it the same as wisdom? Or is it it's the same with wisdom? Is it the same as wisdom? Is it the same thing? Okay, is it the same as wisdom? Yes, pretty much. Because the Holy Spirit, what is wisdom? Amana wa Allah. What is wisdom? Let's see if you actually been studying and reading, man. What is wisdom? You're going to ask me a question. I'm going to ask you a question. What is wisdom? You should know this. This is Hebrew Israelite 101. The breath of Yahawah. Okay, but what is that? You could say the breath, and we could get a precept on that. Let's go get that. This is Genesis 2:7. And Yahawah power formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Yep. So that's correct. The laws, commandments, and statutes. But furthermore, what is it? The brother Hemi got it. It's Yahawashi. All right? It's Yahawashi. Okay? Let's go to Proverbs, the 8th chapter. Let's go to Proverbs, the 8th chapter. Verse 22. Yahawah possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there was no fountains, abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. When he established the clouds above. When he strengthened the fountains of the deep. When he gave to the sea his decree that the water should not pass, his commandment. When he appointed the fountains of the foundations of the earth. Then I was by him, as one brought up with him. And I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth. And my delights were with the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction, and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whosoever findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of Yahawah. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Right? So, Yahawashi. Okay? And yeah, you could break it down into the 7 spirits, which is the 7 angels, being the Holy Spirit. But that's all stemming from Yahawashi. So, as somebody said, the fear of the Lord brings you into wisdom. So yeah, that's a perfect point. Let's get that as well. Let's go to Proverbs 1:7. The fear of Yahawah is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So you have to fear Yahawah, and then he what? He draws you in, and he allows you to be dealt with by Yahawashi, which is ultimately wisdom. He's the word. He's the light. He's the way. He's all of that. All right. He's our king. He's our everlasting father. He's the Prince of Peace. You know what I'm saying? He's all of that. He has no preeminence. He is the first creature ever created, man. Through Yahawah, Yahawah used Yahawashi to create everything. Right? Now, furthermore, let's go to Revelations, the 5th chapter. Now, actually, Revelation is the 1st chapter. And I got to find a particular precept. It's one that I want. I don't think it's that one. It is the 5th chapter. I trust my gut, man. This is Revelations 5:5. And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Now, who is that root? Who is that? That's Yahawashi. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, Yahawashi, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Yahawah sent forth into all the earth. So that's the Holy Spirit. Yahawashi possesses all of that. Who poured the Holy Spirit down unto us? Yahawashi. Okay? Right? So you have to fear Yahawah, and then he leads you to wisdom. He allows Yahawashi to come and what? And sup with you. Revelations 3:20. Behold, I stand at the door. Who is that? Yahawashi. And knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. All right? So once you have that fear, the Most High is going to draw you. Yahawah is going to draw you. It's not of Yahawashi, it's of Yahawah to draw you and pull you, and then he's going to throw you to wisdom because you have fear. So he's going to send you to Yahawashi, and you will be Yahawashi's. Right? Yahawah is also known as the husbandman, and Yahawashi is the vine or the good tree. That was a good one, though. Let's go get that. John 15:1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. You know? And you want to be a part of this vine. You want to be a part of this garden. So the Most High is overseeing all of this. Yahawashi is in it. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. That's the church. The church has to be efficient. It has to operate and do what it's supposed to do. If you're not producing fruit, then why are you here? Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. You got to abide in Yahawashi. No more can ye, except you abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth more fruit. For without me you can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. Right? So ultimately, you're going to be sent into the ICBM missiles, man. You may have possessed this truth at one point in time, but the Most High will take it away from you because you wasn't doing your job. All right? I'm going to get y'all, let me see, your brother had put a precept. 1 Corinthians 1 and 24. But unto them which are called both Jews and Greeks, Hamashiach, the power of Yahawah, and the wisdom of Yahawah. Right? Beautiful, bro. Perfect. Okay? So it's showing you that Yahawah created everything through wisdom. So when you say that, you understand that Yahawah created everything through Yahawashi. Right? I think people may take it like Yahawah created, like he needed wisdom to create everything. No, he didn't need wisdom to create wisdom. He already had the utmost wisdom. He created Yahawashi. You know what I'm saying? And the Yahawashi is what? Let's go to John 1 and 14. And what does it say? And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So Yahawashi is basically the book made flesh. He's the likeness and the image of the invisible power. All right? So everything in the book, everything which is wisdom, all this wisdom that's in this truth, Yahawashi possesses that. He came through the volume of the book. He understands it all. Every single breakdown, every single scripture. All right, all those aspects, every single thing. He understands it all. He is wisdom, man. He was the word made flesh. He's like a walking Bible. And much more than that. You know? And so much more than that. Right? Yeah, kind. Yeah, same with Moses. Yep. So, hey, great question, man. Great question, Amanu Allah. Anybody got any more questions? Let's keep it going. It's a Q&A. You know, Q&A. Yeah, King Solomon was wise, right? Being Yahawashi. Okay? And he asked for wisdom. You know, but that was more so on a different level. Because it was a lower level than what Yahawashi was when he came as Yahawashi. Right? Because he had the ability to go off. Yahawashi did not go off. So he had even more wisdom than King Solomon. But that's perfect because it goes Yahawashi and then his previous reincarnation, which is King Solomon. Both those are the wisest people that ever walked, that was ever kings in our nation, man. You know? And to be honest, Yahawashi ain't sat on that throne yet. Okay? He's sitting on the right hand of the Father, but he's about to sit on his throne when he comes back. And he's going to be our wisest king ever, man. And then in his kingdom, all his brothers are going to be like him. So we're going to possess wisdom. We're going to have understanding. We're going to be lifted up. We're going to be glorified. We're going to be praised. The heathens are going to praise us. I was watching House of Dragons. And on House of Dragons, man, you got this one queen. And she's sitting there in the bathtub getting washed by 3 people. I was like, man, I don't know if I want nobody to wash me. But that's how it's going to be, though. We're going to have servants bending knee, all right, to all of us, man. Okay? All right, so yeah, sister got a question. Restudy in Genesis. So Yahawah creates Yahawashi, and Yahawashi creates angels and everything else. Yes. That's it. Yahawah creates Yahawah. This is it. Okay, let's do it like this. Right? Let's do it like this. This is Yahawah, okay? Okay, this is Yahawah right here. So Yahawah is just Yahawah by himself. Just period. No creation. It's just him. Everything else is void. It's just Yahawah. He's like, yeah, I'm lonely. Let me create something. He kicks out Yahawashi. All right? Then Yahawah he's just sitting on his throne. He just going to sit here. He's not getting off. He's not moving. Yahawah going to tell him, hey, go forth. And he going to give Yahawashi the blueprint. And then Yahawashi is going to create everything. So let's go to Colossians. Okay? Because it's really simple to understand. It's not hard. The incomparable Hamashiach, who hath delivered us from the power of darkness and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. Right? So Yahawashi is what? He's also that lamb, as we just read in Revelations, the 5th chapter. He's that. What is a lamb used in Israel for? It's a sacrifice. He's the ultimate sacrifice. It's no higher sacrifice than him. Therefore, we don't sacrifice lambs and goats no more. You can't get a better sacrifice than what Yahawashi was, man. So we are redeemed through his blood. So in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. All right, so let's get that word image.
Strong's G 1504,
Icon, an image, figure, likeness. Okay, that's simply all it is, a likeness. Likeness, profile, stature, representation, resemblance. Okay, he's a representation. So a representative of somebody has to instill their values of that person that they're representing. I don't want you to go, let's say the brother Nakaf goes forth and he's representing me and he over here telling these people, I tell them, hey, go forth to the French and tell them I want to make peace, and they got to send me, 10,000 bundles of wheat. And Nakaf go over there and say, hey, Yaramia said, fuck y'all and the clique you claim. I'm like, bro, you ain't represent me correctly. You understand? That's not a good representation because I didn't say that. So this is where you get a false prophet because they're going forth being representatives of Yahawah, Yahawashi, but they're not saying what he said to say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a backdoor move. So every false prophet is doing a backdoor move. You claiming to represent the Lord, but you're not teaching the proper and correct way. You understand? So Yahawashi is coming, and everything that he is saying, the Father has given him to say. Just as in the beginning, when the Father created him and said and told him to go create everything that he had ordained. All he did was pass him down a blueprint, and Yahawashi went and created everything that the Father wanted created. Right? So he is the likeness. He is the representative of the invisible power because you can't see the Most High. The Most High is in the third heaven. You have three heavens. Hey, you Christians, y'all going to learn far more in 30 minutes in here than you would learn in 10 years in that church. I promise you that. Okay? So you have three heavens. You have a heaven which is on earth, which is a rulership. All right? Right now we are in the white man's heaven. He's ruling. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Job 9:24. Correct? So we are in the white man's heaven. Furthermore, 2nd Esdras 6:9. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau is in his heaven when the world ends, meaning this rulership. And then we get our heaven afterwards. Okay? Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we're about to walk into our heaven. And the heaven is going to be on earth, a rulership. So that's the first heaven. All right? How it used to be a paradise on this earth. The Garden of Eden. Okay? The Garden of Eden is simply talking about Jerusalem. And then Eden is the entire planet. It would have been a garden that was been directly in the center, which is Israel. That's our land. Okay? So it would have been a heaven, a paradise. We're going back into that. All right? Now, furthermore, the second heaven is what you know as the firmament, the sky. You look up and you see it. That's the second heaven. You cannot pass that, Esau. They telling you they going here, they going there. They're not going anywhere. They're lying to you. They never went to the moon. They never went to Mars or none of that. All right. Then the third heaven is where the invisible power is. It's where Yahawah is. What is he doing? He's sitting in his throne. He's chilling. He's not getting off his throne. He's silly. He's chilling. And Yahawashi is right there on the right of him. Okay. But he sent Yahawashi as a representative. So who is the image of the invisible power? The firstborn of every creature. That's everything that was ever created. Yahawashi is the first. So in the beginning, it was just Yahawah and Yahawashi and nothing else. That was it. It was just Yahawah and Yahawashi. That's why we read Proverbs, the 8th chapter. All right. He said, I was there when he laid the foundations. I was there when he laid the fountains of the deep. I was there when he did this, when he did that, when he did this, when he did that. Okay? But he did all of that through Yahawashi. And the Halalyam, as we're going to furthermore show. Verse 16. For by him were all things created. By who? By Yahawashi. Through the strength and power of Yahawah. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things was created by him and for him. So everything was created by Yahawashi and for Yahawashi. All right. He knew even before it happened, he knew he had to go upon the cross. The story was already created. The Most High had already laid down the story. So he had to create that power, that dominion, the Roman Empire. Okay, that already had to be created and laid down and set up for an appointed time. Right? You know what I'm saying? This is it. This is what's going on. You wrote a story. It's like if brothers ever played The Sims, you know, something of that nature. You created the house, you created the family, and now you went down and lived in it. Right? You know? That's all it was. That's what happened. Okay? So whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things was created by him and for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church. Who is the beginning? Yahawashi is the what? The beginning. He is the head of the body, the church. Who is the beginning? The firstborn from the dead. So he is the first one to walk in the new covenant. He's the first one to have an everlasting body, to live and not to die. He's the first one from the dead. We are in the dead now. All right, but we are quickened and brought back to life, meaning we have been set free or made free by this truth, but we still die. So we have to wait on Yahawashi to come through the sky and beam us up and put us into those everlasting bodies. Okay? So we're not in the new covenant. We're simply in grace at this point in time. We're waiting. For anybody telling you they're in the new covenant, they bleed, they die. In the new covenant, we will not die. We will not bleed. We won't be able to be killed. And we will not be in servitude. How you in the new covenant? You still paying bills to the white man. You still paying taxes. And you in the new covenant. Man, you don't go to sleep. You understand? I pray y'all understand this, man. Okay? And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. Okay? For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell. And having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself. By him, I say, whether they be things in earth or things in heaven. So Yahawashi had to correct and fix everything, man. He had to pay for his mishap, his mistake. Every single time. He was Adam, correct? So therefore, he is the reason why we die. You understand? Okay? All right. I'm going to get that question. Let me see if anybody else got any other questions. The brother said all Israelites will have spiritual powers. Yes, in the kingdom. Yes, indeed. But understand this also, brother. It's going to be rank. Okay? So all Israelites will be able to live forever and have spiritual powers and things of that nature. But you're also going to have a rank. You're going to have the 144,000. Well, let's do it in order. You're going to have Yahawah, of course. He ain't even dealing, Yahawah's not included. Okay? He's on his throne. All right? So Yahawashi, our king, and then King David, also our king, right? Under Yahawashi. Okay? And then you have the apostles. Okay? The apostles. And then you have the 144,000. So that's a rank and order foul. You understand? The 144,000 and the apostles, they will, and they are included in the apostles are included in the 144,000. They will have far more land and planets and women and children and slaves and servants than the 2/3 and the 1/3. You understand? Because of what they did at this point in time. So what you do now echoes forever. You understand? So that's a rank. Those that gave up their lives, man. You can't give a 2/3, an individual that gang banged his whole existence. You can't give him the same reward that King David has. Are you crazy? Is that justice? That's not justice. So you're going to have rank. You're going to have rank. You know what I'm saying? And furthermore, the 2/3 will be the children of the 144,000 and the 1/3. So they will never be on the same rank as the righteous. But they will be righteous, right? But it's a different rank. What you're going to be as a 144,000, 1/3, Yahawashi, you be that. You're going to be like a patriarch. You're going to be the head of a family. You're going to be at the top, the head of a family. Your whole family, your father, mama, all of them, they're going to branch from you. They're going to come from your loins. You're going to bring them back. Okay? So they will never be on your level, but they will be your kids. It makes perfect sense, man. Yes, it's an order of things. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now let's see. We had another question. The brother said, what's going to happen to Esau? Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. What's going to happen to this devil? Let's go to, first and foremost, let's go to 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter. And write these down. Okay? If you're asking these questions, you should write these down. So what's going to happen to Esau? Let's pin the brother question. And Shalawam, bro, good to see you in here. All right? Good to see you in here. All right? This is 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? And when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So Esdras is asking for some clarification on certain prophecies. When is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? Verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that happened in Genesis, the 25th chapter. So it's already letting you know, pertaining to that prophecy, where the eldest shall be ruled by the youngest, that we must rule over Esau. Okay? As it reads, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So when the world ends in the sense of this wickedness, all it is, and us dying, all right, Esau has to be in rulership in the latter days, the end times, the evil days, Jacob's trouble, the great tribulation, however you want to chop it up and call it. The YT man has to be in rulership. Right? Now you look around today, who's in rulership? The YT man. Okay? All right. Hey, okay, look, to do this thing in order, while I'm answering a question, hold your question. Let me answer the brother's question, and then you can ask your question afterwards, man. All right? This is the thing with Jake. Y'all need to learn order, man. Y'all need to learn order and be considerate of other individuals. Okay? So, let's get these precepts that the brother putting down. This is Isaiah 34. And we'll start at the top. Verse 1. Come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahawah is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Right? Now you're going to see a lot of Edomites run into the caves. Okay? At the end of the day. You're going to see a lot of Edomites run into caves, what they're calling bunkers. So these are the mountains. Once again, I'm going to tell y'all this one more time. Hold your questions. If I see another question, I'm cutting the comments off. Okay? We're going to do this shit in order. Hold your questions. All right? I'm going to take another question after I answer the brother's question, so everybody can get edification out of this question. Now, the question at hand is, what's going to happen to Esau? Okay? I ain't your gang. Now, get your dumb ass up out of here. I ain't doing that shit. Okay? And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. Now, what is that talking about? ICBM missiles. The heavens shall be rolled up as a scroll. What do you see during a nuclear explosion? Let's pull that up. You see a mushroom cloud, correct? And that's what it's talking about. Right? We have a more sure word of prophecy. You see this. And it's gigantic. It's bigger than any mountain that you've ever seen. Okay? Things of this nature. That's what you're going to see. The heavens rolled up like a scroll. Right? So that's what it's talking about. Verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Now, Idumea is just the Greek way of saying Edom. And what is that? That's the kingdom of the Edomites, the so-called YT man. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. All right. The sword of Yahawah is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahawah hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Basra is the head city of Edom, which today is Washington, D.C. Okay? So he has a sacrifice in Basra and in the land of Idumea. All right? This is why you see Europe getting hit with a heat wave and you know, people are passing away over there. And it's constantly getting hit with storms, heat waves, etc., etc. The Most High is hitting that place. And he's ultimately going to destroy it. He's going to ultimately destroy America. He's going to ultimately hit Europe and these type of places, man. And other places will get hit. Russia may get hit. China may get hit. You understand? Israel is definitely going to get hit. That's in the book of Isaiah, the 38th chapter. I'm talking about geographically the place called Israel, where those small hatters are living. Now, furthermore, to go into this question even more, let's go to Obadiah, the first chapter, which is the only chapter. And let's start at 15. For the day of Yahawah is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So the heathen, whatever they've done, it's going to come back to them. Now, every heathen nation has had us in slavery. All right? Damn near all of them. Okay? The Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs. Okay? Elam. You know? The Hamites. We was in Egyptian slave, you know what I'm saying? So the heathens have had their way with us. Okay? So it's going to come back to them. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion, that's what? That's in our people. Shall be deliverance. That's not talking about a particular mountain on this earth. That's talking about a people. If you read the scriptures enough, you'll see that mountains are representations of governments. That's talking about the government of Israel, which is furthermore talking about the 144,000. That's the Congress of Israel. That's the government. Mount Zion. All right. Shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. So we shall possess and take over these heathens. We shall take over their lands. We shall take over what they had, what they owned. All right. And we're going to have a far better kingdom. Verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be as a fire. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Northern kingdom, southern kingdom. All of Israel. Okay? And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. So what's going to happen to the Edomites? They're going to be all destroyed. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and they shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahawah hath spoken it. Right? So that's ultimately what's going to happen to them. Now, furthermore, let's get some precepts. Let's get some more. And if the brother, you know, I think the brother is actually writing these down. So that's beautiful. All right. Let's go to Revelations, the 18th chapter. And I'll start at 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Now, where's that going to happen to? All right. Babylon, America. All right. And other parts of the world also. Okay. So what you need to do, what you need to prepare for is to come out of this place. That does not mean you get on a plane and you fly somewhere else. No, the MOTB, which is the RFID hip, that's going to happen all over the planet. Okay, this white man is going to have rulership all over this planet. That's what he's about to bring upon. A digital system all over this planet. All right. So first and foremost, you need to prepare spiritually. You need to know the correct names, the proper names, which is Yahawah and Yahawashi, the name of the Father and the Son. You need to know the correct doctrine, the proper understanding. You need to keep the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of your ability. Do what you can. Okay? You don't have to eat pork, lobster, crab, shrimp, shellfish. That's in the law, not to eat that. You can control what you eat. You understand? So you can keep that law. You can control not having sex on the Sabbath. You can actually do the Sabbath on the proper day, which is according to the new moon. It's not according to Friday and Saturday. Ain't no Friday and Saturday in the scriptures. You understand? There's no Friday and Saturday in the scriptures. The new moon is in the scriptures. The calendar in the sky is in the scriptures. All right. So this is talking about us going into chariots, coming out of Babylon, so we won't receive the plagues. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahawah hath remembered her iniquities. This place is the talk of the town. All right, it's actually the talk of the universe. Everybody's talking about this place right now and what they're doing. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. Ever since those Edomites came out of slavery, ever since they came out of those caves, they've put us into slavery. Okay, stemming back to the 1400s. All right, and even going back further than that, you can go to the 1300s when they brought the Black Plague, which I just did a lesson on recently. Okay, the Black Death. You know, and that is part of the reason which they was allowed to take over. But it's divine intervention because the Most High allowed it. So for 500 years plus, they have ruled and they have had us in slavery. Okay, that's what it's talking about. Right? Everybody knows this. So we're going to reward unto her double according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled to her double. So for 500 years, they had us in slavery. How long they going into slavery? 1,000 years. 1,000 years. All of that 1,000-year reign, these Edomites will be in slavery. And then ultimately, according to Obadiah 1:18, they will be stubble. They will be destroyed. None will be remaining of the house of Esau. So every single Edomite will be destroyed. This is what you need to get through your head. It's no such thing as a righteous Edomite. The Most High hates every single one of them. Okay? How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I am a queen and I am no widow. She shall see no sorrow. This is the mindset of an Edomite. They don't think that they did anything wrong. They don't think that their kingdom can be brought down. They think that their houses shall continue forever. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, ICBM missiles. Remember what we was talking about? This. One day. It only take one day. This right here, it only take one day. And this right here can happen within an hour. All right, it's 10:23 right now. This shit can happen by 11:23. You understand? But we have certain prophecies that have to pass, such as the MOTB, which is the RFID CHIP, that needs to be made mandatory. WW3 needs to be happening. All right, we on the verge of all of that happening. Iran just said that they're not doing tit for tat anymore. They're going to do continuous bombing because they tired of the bullshit. Okay? How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. America has lived deliciously, man. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahawah power who judgeth her. All right, so these Edomites, if they're not burnt up, they will go into slavery. And then ultimately, at the end of the 1,000-year reign, they will be destroyed completely. And then what's going to happen to us? We're going to continue to reign for another 1,000 years and another 1,000 years. What we have is an everlasting kingdom. It will never end. Just as the universe expands, we're going to continue to expand and produce and populate planets. Right? Yeah, like I said, they're burning in the heat wave and things of that nature. Okay? All right? All right, so let's get another question. Second Exodus. Well, I mean, you could call it that if you want to, but I'll answer that one real fast. This is Matthew 24, 29 through 31. The glorious return. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, so immediately after Jacob's trouble, what we're about to go through. We're in Jacob's trouble right now, but it's going to intensify. Shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. The powers meaning the kingdoms, the mountains, the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Okay? Why? Because the stars are falling from heaven. The nukes, the ICBM missiles are coming down. Boom, boom, boom. Shaking the earth. Destroying governments. All right? And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man, Yahawashi, in heaven. So then our king shall come. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. Everybody is going to cry, well, because Yahawashi is coming, he's going to be burning individuals up, man. Okay? And as well as the nukes hitting. All right? And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven, those chariots, what you know as UFOs, all right? UAPs, whatever you want to call them, with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So he's going to gather up his elect from all over the planet at the same time while nukes are hitting places. So you're going to see nukes coming down, and it's going to be chariots in the sky beaming brothers up. You understand how climatic it's going to be? This is a movie, baby. We living in a movie. All right? And then at the same time, individuals that didn't believe in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, they going to be sitting here looking stupid like, yo, I want to go too. Nah, you can't go because you didn't believe. You didn't listen. You didn't take heed to the word. You understand? Okay? Exactly, bro. That's why they fear that El Nino, that super El Nino. Hey, Bakwash. Hey, Shalawam, bro, but don't say APTTMH. All right? Brothers in the comments, help that brother, man. Give him, spell out Halalyam La Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay? Somebody help him. Somebody spell it out. We got to help young brothers, man. This should be automatic. You know? That brother's sincere, though. So, somebody please spell out Halalyam La Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi Bahasham Kakadash for him. Okay? Or just say all praises to Yahawah, Yahawashi. You know? Yeah, I know. That brother, I was talking to that brother last night. He came into the truth 2 months ago. You know, but the brother is sincere. He actually took the rebuke, you know, and he's here today. Right? So that's a great sign. I pray this brother continues. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it going. The brother Hemi said, what are ways to help with your election? Hey, it ain't no ways to help with your election. Huh? The point blank period is you either elect or you not. You know? But I got your question though. I understand. You know what I'm saying? So I got a couple precepts on it. It's just going to be in you or it's not. This is Colossians 3:12. Put on, therefore, as the elect of power, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Mashiach forgave you, so also do ye. And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness. So pretty much, I would say just read and study and grow. You know, read, study, grow. You began to do lessons, right? Okay, that should be every week now. You know, that should be every single week. You should be producing 3 lessons, 3 videos a week. And that right there is going to put you in a habitation of peace, a habitation of loving and serving Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. You understand? So continue in, like my elder Muwatazak out here in Los Angeles say, do what got you here. Continue to do what got you here. You understand? Keep that fervent love that you have. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, endure this truth to your last breath. Exactly. So you got to put on as the elect. But technically, if it's not in you, it's not in you. You know? But if it's in you, then it's in you. Because this is all what? It's all predestinated. Ephesians 1:5. Let's start at 4. According as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. So going back to the Sister Cupcakes question, Yahawah created Yahawashi, and then Yahawashi created his elect. That's how it is. He created his elect. And then they all created the earth. They all created everything else. You understand? So he have chosen us from the foundation of the world, before the foundation of the world. So before the earth was ever laid down, you had the elect, also known as the angels, the Halalyam, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahawashi HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So it's all the will of the Father. You know? So, hey, pray, fast, show yourself to be that. You know? All you could do is pray and ask the Most High. I pray and ask the Most High that I be of that number. That's all I could do. You understand? That's all you could do. Shoot, that's all you could do. Listen to the orders, because the government is set up on earth. You have the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone. That's the proper order that's set up on earth. Okay? So get in this government, get in this military, and do what you're supposed to do. Show yourself to be a sincere and a righteous man. Brother got a precept, James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahawah, that giveth of to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Exactly. Pray for wisdom. Pray for understanding. You got to do that every single day. You got to ask for more wisdom. You got to ask for more understanding. The Most High loves when you ask for wisdom, because you're asking for more fear. You're asking to fear him and to serve him better. Ask him to cleanse out your flaws and things that you don't even see. Ask him to cleanse you of those things. Right? So at the end of the day, election is not up to you. You being in the elect, that's not up to you. That's up to him. You don't choose him. He chooses you. You know? But that's a great question, though. Because with a lot of these individuals on the internet, they put themselves, they say, chosen this, chosen that. You don't know what you are. You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing. You know nothing. So you don't know what you are. You just gotta try your best. Right? All right. So hey, let's get another question. Anything Bible-wise. Let's get another question, man. The brother said Isaiah 6:2. Is it talking about literal wings? Or are there angels with wings? Let's go get that. Isaiah 6:2. And let's start at 1. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw above also the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. And one cried with another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahawah of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. So, yeah. Okay. Literal wings, most definitely, but more so also, you could, what's the word, man? Interpret it as the chariots. All right. Because you have angels. Angels can take different forms. Understanding this. They can come down and stand in the midst of us and be like a man. right? And then they can also show themselves to be in a terrible type form. Remember what happened in Miami? Many people forget. Remember what happened in Miami when those angels came on the left-hand side and they was like dark figures? Okay? You know? So they could take that type of form. All right? And yeah, just like the angel in Antelope Valley out here. You know, he came in the form of looking like King Masha. That's exactly how he looked, you know? So they can take a human form or they can take a different type of form. And then furthermore, it could be talking about the chariots that they come in. All right? And if you ever notice, if the more you study and go into chariots can change shape. They can change form. Right? So on that, I would say it's not really necessary for salvation, you know, but the angels can come in a terrible-like form, a demon-like form, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But that's not necessarily a salvation type thing that matters too much, right? Because whenever you see an angel in their true form, you're going to be terrified. As always, our forefathers was. Because they know an angel is here, they probably going to die, or they here to tell you something good. You understand? But don't be that individual. Like, let's go to 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter real quick. Okay? And then I'll get the next question. But I'm going to go to 2nd Esdras 13th chapter real quick. And I'm going to show you something. Because don't think that this is... Alright? This is 2nd Esdras 13 and 10. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which were prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Now, is Yahawashi sending fire out of his mouth and out of his lips and breath and, you know, no. What is this talking about? It's talking about the chariots, man, that he's in. He's sending laser beam fire from the chariots. All right, I'm good. Good. You got that. You understood that. That's good. Okay? Yahawashi is not standing here like Cyclops, you know, or an X-Men and sending beams out of his mouth. He's not doing that. He's in his chariot, all right, commanding and sending laser fire down. Okay? That's what he's doing. So don't take it so literal all the time. And this is why you need the breakdowns, you know what I'm saying, to understand it fully. Now let's see the next question. The sister said, what's the significance of the 12 gates? Are they just entryways for Israelites to go in and out of Jerusalem? All right. So, sister, what is New Jerusalem? That's the first thing you got to understand. What is New Jerusalem in general? Let's go to Revelations 21 and 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. That's what? A new kingdom, a new rulership. Okay? That's what it's talking about. A new kingdom, a new rulership ran by us. And a new earth, meaning a new society, a new way of living. We're no longer going to be paying bills. We're no longer going to be paying for water, electricity, or none of that. We're going to be kings and priests. The men will be kings and priests. And the women, you'll simply be princesses and you'll be wives. Okay? At the end of the day. And the first earth and the first heaven and the first earth will pass away. So this rulership, this kingdom, the way that we live now, the way that we die, we won't die in the kingdom. You understand? So we can't wait, man. right? So an entire new way of living is what we're going to be in. And that's for us. And when I say us, I mean the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Israel. Okay, Yasharahla, the princes of the power, the sons of God. And there were no more sea. And I, John, hold up. All right, like I said earlier, maybe if you wasn't here, I'm going to be nicer. All right, while I'm answering one question, hold your question so I can answer this question and brothers can help with precepts as I answer the question. So hold your question, because if your question, you ask it right now, it might get lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? So just hold it and I'll get it next. So I'll get Lone Wolf's question next. Everybody else that got a question, just hold it at this point in time. And then ask it after we finish the next question. We want to do things decently and in order. Verse 2, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from power out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Now, what is this talking about? This is not talking about no city coming down out of the sky. No, this is talking about the men. Okay? The men. This is talking about the elect, the remnant. That's what New Jerusalem is. We are a people before a place. That's in 2 Maccabees, the 5th chapter. Let's get it real quick. 2 Maccabees 5:19. Nevertheless, power did not choose the people for the place's sake, but the place for the people's sake. So it does not matter where we are. We are Zion. We are Jerusalem. We are Yasharahla. We are Israel. We are Judah. We are that. Wherever we at on this planet, we are that. You understand? So us coming down, that's us in those everlasting bodies. We are that city. We are the third temple. Okay? What's the temple? What? Let's go to 1 Corinthians. It's the way that people mess up is they be too carnal. You know what I'm saying? They be extremely too carnal and they think, oh, it's got to be a third temple built. Well, that is the men. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of power, and that the spirit of power dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of power, him shall power destroy. For the temple of power is holy, which temple ye are. So you are the temple, man. This is a place of worship. Your body. You're supposed to worship and praise Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi every single day. Therefore, you need to fast. You need to cleanse out your temple. You need to take care of your body. You can't just BS with this temple. You can't destroy it. You don't need to be putting tattoos on it and doing all that different type of stuff, man. You got to understand, this is a temple. It's supposed to be a holy place. The Most High has loaned this to you. He's given this to you. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with power. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. By listening to this world, you believe that it has to be a third temple built up carnally that can be destroyed. Come on, man. No, we are being built up and we never will be destroyed. All right. Going back to Revelations 21. And I, John, saw the holy city. So that's the remnant. That's the elect. New Jerusalem. That's us. All right, Yahawah, we be of that number. Coming down from Yahawah out of heaven. Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Is Yahawashi going to marry a carnal city? A piece of stone? No. He's marrying us. He's our husband. All right, he's bringing us into a marriage. He's bringing us into a covenant. That's what a marriage is. It's a covenant. It's a blood covenant. This is why your woman should be a virgin. Because you break that blood covenant and now she is tied to you forever. Right? That's how it's supposed to be. You're never supposed to put her away. You're supposed to be tied to her forever. Now, could you divorce her and things of that nature? Yeah, if you know she doesn't please you and she commits adultery, then yeah, you would put her away. But even then, she don't supposed to mess with nobody else. Because she's tied to you. The only way she can get married to somebody else is if you die. Is if you die. Okay? So it is really death do us part. So we are prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Let's get that. Adorned.
Strong's G 2885. Cosmeo. Cosmeo.
Cosmeo, to put in order, arrange, make ready, prepare. To ornament, adorn. To embellish with honor, gain honor. Right? No, awoken one, because your baby mama is not in the truth, bro. Okay? And you wasn't in the truth when you started messing with her. And we all sinners. Romans 3:23. All right? But once you know better, you do better. So you know this truth. When you know this truth now, then you carry yourself the correct way, in the proper way. Back then, you didn't know no better. You know? So back to it, we are adorned to put in proper order. What are we doing right now? We're teaching the truth and we're putting our people in the proper order. We're making them as a bride. Right? You got, a bride, she got to get her nails done, her feet done. She got to bathe in oil. We got to bathe in oil. Don't y'all see that? We have to bathe in oil for years. What is that oil? That's this truth. You supposed to bathe in oil, Ak. You got to get ready to be married. Okay? You supposed to be bathing in oil, this truth, every single day. To be adorned, to be prepared for Yahawah, Yahawashi. All right? So you'll be soft. You'll be taken care of. You'll be undefiled. Don't nobody want to deal with no hard-ass woman. Okay? So we are being adorned. That's why in Revelations, the 7th chapter, let's get that real quick. Verse 9. And it reads, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. This is not heathens. This is Israelites from all over the planet. They're clothed with white robes. What does white symbolize? Purity. Okay? So they're undefiled. They're pure. They're virgins. They're made up like that. They have the proper understanding, the proper doctrine. So that great multitude is nothing more than the 1/3. Well, you have the 144,000 right here. And then that's all men. And then you have their women and their kids and their friends. People that believe in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. But you may not be a prophet. You may not be a preacher. You may not be, a bishop. But you believe in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and you serve him. You call on him. You pray to him. You do what you're supposed to do. Okay? So that's who that great multitude is, known as the 1/3. So it's more than 144,000. All right? Now, furthermore, back to the 12 gates. Okay? If you go down here, it'll break down New Jerusalem. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from power, having the glory of power, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So understanding that it's simply the men, all it's talking about is the tribes, man. All right? That's all it's talking about is the tribes. Because, bro, we're coming down to a world that's destroyed. You understand? A world that was hit by nuclear fire. Who's gonna build up the kingdom? Let's go to Isaiah. This is Isaiah 60 and 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. So we're going to employ the heathens and have them building up kingdoms and mansions and things of that nature. That's what we're going to do. Okay, the 12 gates is simply talking about you being of your tribe. All right, and you that's it. Because New Jerusalem is talking about men. So, sister, did you get that? You understand it? It's just talking about the tribes. All right, now let's go back to the brother's question. Lone Wolf said, are the 144,000 the only ones with spiritual power? What about the men of the great multitude? So, in the kingdom, everybody will have spiritual powers. Everybody will be, in the everlasting body of our nation, okay? Right? Because they're going to be our kids, so they're going to be like us. They're going to be raised up in righteousness, all right, and corrected, etc., etc. But at this point in time, what you see now is the prophets. And this is spiritual power. Being able to break down the scriptures and bring it out and things of that nature. By doing this, we're healing people. You don't get in the carnal sense of how these damn Christians is. You know how these Christians be like, they be like, you're not a prophet. Who have you healed? You ain't laid hands on nobody. The fuck? Because they used to that demon type shit. Or you lay hands on somebody and you make them fall out. If you can't do that, then I guess the Most High ain't dealing with you, man. If you can't lay hands on somebody and they fall out, then the Most High ain't dealing with you. That's witchcraft, man. And that's nothing but foolery. Folly is set in great dignity. What have you learned from falling out on the floor? Talking about Yasharahla. Can you break down Revelation the 13th chapter? No, you can't. So you haven't learned anything. What have you learned from dipping your head in water, claiming that you baptized? You haven't learned anything. The proper way to baptize is through the word, the fire, as Yahawashi baptized. Yahawashi didn't dip nobody in the water. And if you think he did, give me a scripture. Okay? He didn't dip nobody in water. He baptized through the word, through this fire of the Holy Spirit. Okay? So that's how you baptize, by teaching your brothers and sisters the truth. So this is spiritual power. So at this point in time, the prophets have that spiritual power. Now, pertaining back to the brother's question, will we have more spiritual power, such things as like maybe Samson, unaliving 1,000 people and things of that nature? That's all up to the Most High's discretion. He can give who he wants to give spiritual powers, whoever he sees fit. It may be a 1/3 brother that's on the edge of starvation, and he allows that brother to create bread from nothing. He can give whoever he wants to give spiritual powers. You understand? Let's get this. I spelled this wrong. What's that, Isaiah? Oh, actually, ate the water. That's a beautiful one. The brother Kakuma. Yep, that was on my spirit. Zechariah 12:8. In that day shall Yahawah defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Okay, so how is he going to defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem? oh, he's going to get them guns and ammo and teach them how to fight. No. Okay? And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as power as the angel of Yahawah before them. So he can give whoever he wants to spiritual powers. It will be men of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, most definitely. Okay? All right? You know, so he may give the prophet spiritual powers, but he may not have to give a brother spiritual power. He may just take care of a brother by leading a brother to a safe haven, a safe place, and keeping that brother from harm's way. And that brother may never need, you know, a care or worry in Jacob's trouble. That brother just be taken care of, him and his family, you know. But some brothers he may send to prison and then give that brother spiritual powers to be able to break the gates and escape from prison. He could do that. So really, it's just speculation at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who's going to get spiritual powers or not at this point in time. Right? But in the kingdom, yeah, brothers will be able to teleport. Brothers will be able to fly. Brothers will be able to do all of that. Right? Yeah, brother, Yahawah can lead a brother to an empty bunker or that someone else built, and it'll be full of food. Just how Rose happened to Rose on the movie Leave the World Behind. Right? Yeah, teleportation. You saw Yahawashi teleport inside the room. The doors was locked, and he teleported in front of Thomas. You know? So teleportation is easy for the Most High. Okay? And to this individual, Tada it's Yasharahla. All right? That's how you say Israel. It's not Yisrael. It's Yasharahla. I'll help you out. You know, but Shalawam to you, though. It's Yasharahla. All right, so, hey, man, I'll take like 2 more questions. Okay? Yasharahla. I'll spell it one more time. The brother, hey, Shalawam, bro. I ain't seen you in a minute. Brother 260. All right, let's get this. This is one of the 2 questions that I'm taking. The brother said, what is the correct way to pray? What is the correct way to pray? Okay. Let's get this. I got to find this simple precept. Lucky. All right, this is Matthew 6 and 1. And it says, giving to the poor and prayer. Giving to the poor and prayer. Right? So, take heed that ye do not your alms before men, to be seen of them. So if you give a brother, let's say a brother need $20 or something, man, you want to get that to him in private. Okay? You don't want to get that to him in front of everybody. So everybody else can know that that brother gave him $20. Oh, that brother good. That brother righteous. No. That's not how you do things. All right? What you do in private, the Most High is going to reward in public. This is how you know we really live this. Because Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi be taking care of us, man. Okay? He be taking care of us. So we really off the camera living this. We're not faking. You understand? He takes care of us, brothers, man. Otherwise, ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. So that philanthropy, you gave 20 million to a village in Africa, that doesn't matter. That's pointless. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. This is who you serve. You serve men. You want glory of men. You want men to look at you and be like, oh, yeah, that brother be giving money to everybody. That brother do this, that brother do that. That's wickedness. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth. Okay? That thine alms may be in secret. And thy Father which seeth in secret, himself shall reward thee openly. And this goes to these individuals, bro. They don't have faith. Because they don't believe that the Most High is always watching. And he is always watching via his angels, the Halalyam. He's watching you right now. He's constantly watching you. He has ultimate surveillance on you beyond, hey, he don't need no damn cell phone to watch you. Okay? He's constantly watching you. Okay? So have some fear. You need to have some fear. Verse 5. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets. They love to pray in front of people. They love to pray. You got people that love to come on TikTok and pray. Man, sit your goofy ass down. That's not needed. You understand? Prayer should be intimate. Okay? It should be very intimate. You don't come on here. You will never see me come on here and be like, hey, I'm about to pray for people. Hell nah. And if somebody asks me to pray for them, I'm going to tell it, bro, you better pray for yourself. You better learn how to pray for yourself. Every single night, I pray for the elect. When I sit down, put my knees on the ground, I pray for the elect. I pray for the brotherhood. I pray for brothers, man. Okay? I'm not about to do this publicly in front of y'all. I have a relationship with Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And I value that relationship. It's not for the world to see. It's not to flaunt it out there like that. This is the thing I see amongst Israel too many damn times. You got a woman and you want to put her all up on the damn internet. This is my baby. This is Carissa. Don't y'all see my girl? This my girl. And you'll sit back. Don't you know it's some niggas that don't like you that want your bitch? Excuse my French. But don't you understand that? Y'all don't think at all, man. Jake be out here so damn foolish, man. It's people out here that's watching you that do not like you. They can't stand your ass. And yeah, they gonna jump in her DMs. Exactly. You understand? But you putting your woman all out on Front Street so everybody can see. Your woman's supposed to be your treasure, bro. She's supposed to be yours. Your treasure. All right? And you putting her out there on Front Street. The Most High gave you to her. He gave her to you as a gift. This world is wicked and it's weird. In the kingdom, we're going to be far more private. We're going to be far more private. You understand? Extremely more private. Social media has ruined this world. Where you think everybody needs to know everything. We don't need to know that Tyrone broke up with you and got with your sister. We don't care. I don't care. I don't need to know that you got a venereal disease from Houston because you was down there being a hoe. I don't care. You understand? I don't care how many women you got. I don't care. Social media has made people extremely weird. Extremely weird. That's why I get on this motherfucker. I play around. I make jokes. I crack jokes on people. People is weird. You know? And people are too damn uptight and serious, man. Okay? So once again, verse 5. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, For they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. That's your reward. Others saw you praying. That's your reward. That's what you get. But what do? Verse 6. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret. And thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. Right? So, hey, I go on the side of my bed. I face the east because we pray to the east. Why do we pray to the east? Because that's where the holy city is. Yahawashi is going to come from the east. Okay? So we face the east. The east right now is that direction for me. That's when I finish my lessons or begin my lessons, I turn to the east and I give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Okay? To the east. So you pray to the east. Okay? And let's say you in a crowded area, you in the airport, and something's happening, and you could pray in your head. That's all you got to do. Nobody needs to know. You could pray in your head, man. Learn to use your conscience. Learn to use your head. Learn to talk to yourself in your head. You need to be having ongoing conversations with Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. So in your head, talk to him, man. It's not weird. It's what you should be doing constantly. All right? The word of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. The word of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, man. You should be in constant communication with him. Okay? Verse 7. But when ye pray, use not vain repetition, as the heathens do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. He already know what you need before you even pray. He already know what's going on in your life. You just got to go through those steps. As we said earlier, going back to the brother Hemi's question, what can you do for to be more of the elect? Which you really can't do anything, but you have to put on as the elect. So you go through the motions and you do it with sincerity. You don't do a lesson just to be like, I'm doing a lesson because I got to do 3 lessons a week because the elder said it. No. Okay? This ain't about men. This ain't about Great Millstone. This ain't about the elders. The elders can't get you into the kingdom, bro. You understand that? They can't get you in the kingdom. This is about pleasing Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. So, like I state all the time, it's a date that you're having with Yahawashi. How dare you show up to the date lazy, not prepared? You show up to the date, you're just sloppy. Don't nobody want to date no female like that, man. Okay? You got to show up proper and correct and move the correct way. So every lesson I do, man, you pray before a lesson and you pray after a lesson. The word of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for speaking through me. Because I know it's not of me. Shoot, he helping. He sent the brothers. Right? He sent people to listen. We helping people. You know what I'm saying? This is all through the spirit and power and the will of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. This is not of us. Okay? Keeping it going. Verse 8. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things you have need of before you ask him. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, etc., etc. So this is how you pray. Okay? You got to be sincere. Love unfringed. Going back to that 2 Corinthians, the 6th chapter, I believe. You got to have sincere love for Yahawah, Yahawashi. You are married to them. And that love should intensify. It should stay fervent. You should burn with love for them. Right? You know? So let's get one more question, man. And I'm going to get up on out of here. This has been it's been an edifying one, I believe. I pray it is. Brother said, how do you know where the east is at? When to point to east? Like what direction? Okay, yeah. So with that being said, over time, I'm in my house, so I automatically know where the east is. But over time, you keep a sense of direction about yourself, you know? So try to keep that sense of direction about yourself. And the more you pray, when you pray, it'll keep that going because you pray. You don't really got to use a compass or nothing like that. If you pray, look, this is simple as hell. And this is letting me know y'all don't pray before y'all leave the house. You need to pray before you leave the house. Okay, you pray before you leave the house, and at your house, you should know where the east is. You understand? So if the east in my house is that way, I'm praying, and then I'm leaving, and then I'm going down the street that way. I'm driving that way now. I know the east is behind me because I'm keeping my sense of direction. And then I go down here, I take a left. I know the east is still that way. You know, then I turn left. Now I'm going east. Then I turn this way. I still know the east is that way. It's like because you prayed when you left the house, you have that sense of direction when you leave. So try to keep that with you. Now you may get, you know what I'm saying? And then, you can use a compass. You can do all those type of things. But as the brother said, the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west, right? You have what you know at night, you have a North Star, right? The North Star, okay, which will show you north. And then you got to figure it out. You know, you got to walk, man. You got to figure stuff out on your own. But that's a simple one. Yeah, and it definitely feels better when you pray after you leave. It definitely feels better when you pray when you leave. You pray before you leave. You pray on the road. You pray when you get to your destination. You pray for safe passage, man. All right? You know, I want you to consider that question a question. Is there any more questions? I'll take one more. Any more questions? I'll take one more. Yeah, pray means to beg. So we're constantly begging the Most High and Yahawashi, man. We're constantly begging. When you pray, you want it to be honorable. But also, I talk to Yahawah, Yahawashi, like I talk to them. Like I'm talking to a brother. I talk to them. I'll be like, hey, shoot, I'm going through it right now. But I know you're going to get me through it. I know you're going to get me through it because you got me through it before. So Tawada, right? You already know what I need. I talk to them. You know what I'm saying? The brother said, how much longer, brother, that chip going to come out? I don't think we got more than 5 years. 5 years? Bro, we ain't got more than 2 years, bro. Shit. Speaking as a man, though. Okay? But things are moving extremely fast. All right? With the data centers and them eating up all the water. Okay? And, the digital ID and all that type of stuff coming out. Yeah, we don't have long. We definitely don't have long. All right? But don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in that. Because you see these goofies talking about the rapture and all. Nah, that's foolishness. So we just got to endure. As long as we here, we have to endure. We have to maintain. You got to go to work. You got to pay your bills. You got to do what you got to do. You just got to keep going, man. You just got to go through the routine. All right? Yahawah could wrap it up fast. He could extend it. It's punishment. Right? We can't be in punishment complaining. You know You know what I'm saying? Okay, all right. This is a good question. We'll end it with this. It's a good question because this is common. So this individual said, why are us Israelites switching up the Sabbath day, Friday sundown, to Saturday sundown? Okay, I'm reloaded. All right. Why are Israelites doing Friday sundown to Saturday sundown? I want to know myself. Let's go into this. This will be the last question. Okay, sister? So, I believe it's a sister. Right? Now, let's go to Genesis, the first chapter. And let's go to the fourth day. The fourth day. Right? So, this is Genesis 1:14. And it reads, and Power said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So the moon, the sun, these are what? These are for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So this is a calendar. This is how you tell time, right? That's what the moon, the sun is for. Okay? And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And Power made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And Halalyam set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Halalyam saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Okay? So with that understanding is that the sun and the moon, these and the stars, these are as a calendar in the sky. Okay? Now, when was the term Friday and Saturday created? That was created by man. You understand? That wasn't created by the Most High. That's something that you've attached to from the Romans and the Greeks and the Vikings, which, hey, some of our people gave you Monday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right? That's actually pagan worship. Okay? It goes into Thor. It goes into his father. It goes into his mother. It goes into all these pagan gods. This is why you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, etc., etc. And then furthermore, with January, February, all right, March, April, May, June, July, all this stuff is paganism. All right? So, sister, I want you to understand that first and foremost, and cut all that off. Just cut it, because that's Edomites. That's how the Edomites teach you. They want you to go off the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar, right? So we go off of what the Most High said. Now let's go to Psalms. Let's go to Psalms 81. Sing aloud upon Power our strength. Make a joyful noise upon the power of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the pastry. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon and the time appointed on our solemn feast day. Right? So blow up the trumpet in the new moon and the time appointed on our solemn feast day. So once again, the moon is for a clock. It's like a clock, right? I want to show brothers this. For brothers that's in our chat, all right? I don't know if you noticed this, but you can go in the chat and then you can go click up here. And I put this up here, okay? Shalawam, Yahawah, Yahawashi. Current Sabbath is Sunday to Monday. Next new moon is July 14th. So because I ain't doing the Sabbath page no more like that. All right. So I'm going to just, because, hey, you should be able to keep it now. But I'll just put it in here all the time, what the current Sabbath is, just in case any brothers are confused or they need to remind themselves or anything of that nature. So the next new moon is July 14th. Now let's go and figure that out. Okay? Victor Rodriguez, bro, what are you talking about? No, Jesus don't love us, bro. Jesus is a false god. Okay? Let's get this dude up out of here. Idiot. All right. Now, let's go look that up. The new moon in July is when? Is what? The next new moon falls on Tuesday, July 14th, 2026, reaching its exact phase at 5:43 a.m. Okay? So Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. So let's go to the calendar. All right, and let's go over here. As we know now, the moon, the Sabbath, is Sunday to Monday. But it's going to change to what? It's going to change to Monday to Tuesday. Why? Because the new moon is going to fall in between these 2 days. 5:43 on Tuesday. So therefore, you'll see the new moon within this day, because the day starts when the sun goes down, from evening to morning. So the day starts in the evening. So the next Sabbath, the next new moon Sabbath, or the next month will start on July the 13th to July the 14th. That'll be a new moon Shabbat, a Sabbath. Okay? So going back to the sister's question, it's not Friday to Saturday, all the ways. It changes according to the new moon. Going back to the scriptures. Blow up the trumpet on the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. Right? Now let's furthermore keep it going. And if you want to know this breakdown, write it down. Write it down. All right? Let's go to Sirach. And what's that? 30. You could tell I ain't did this breakdown in a long time. I done forgot the daggone chapter, man. It's like 37. 37. Brother, help me out. Somebody help me out real quick. Hey, the water. Yeah, man. I ain't had to do this in so long. All right, this is Sirach 43. And I'll start at 5. Great is Yahawah that made it, and at his commandment runneth hastily. He made the moon also to serve in her season, for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. So back to the sister. The moon is to declare times. So a new moon symbolizes a new month. That's what it's doing. It's talking about a new month. And you do what? You blow up the trumpet on the new moon, on a new month, to declare, to let you know. Okay? So the moon is a clock. From the moon is the sign of feast. What's a feast? A Sabbath. The new moon is as a Sabbath. From the new moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament, giving light in the highest places of Yahawah. Right? So the moon represents and declares a new month. Okay? So from that point, let's wrap it up. So the new moon would be what? It would start pretty much, it would be from Monday to Tuesday now. It used to be Sunday to Monday. So we're going to have a double. We're going to have a back-to-back. We're going to have a Sunday, Monday Sabbath. And then we're going to have a Monday, Tuesday Sabbath. So from the 12th to the 14th, that's going to be the Shabbat. Right? From the 12th to the 14th, that's what's going to happen. Okay? And then as it goes, you're going to what? Let's count it. So working day would be this evening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Boom, you'll have another Shabbat on that Monday. Rest that night to that Tuesday. And then working days, 6 working days again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, rest. Boom, boom, boom. Then 1, 2. This will be a full moon Shabbat. All right, this will be a full moon. This will be a first quarter moon. Okay, and then let's go to the next month. This will be a third quarter moon, and this will be what? The last Sabbath of that month. And then we're going to find what? We're going to either have a new moon on that Tuesday or that Wednesday. Now let's look it up. Let's go to August. Let's look up new moon in August. August 12th. All right, at 1:37 p.m. When is that? August 12th. So the Sabbath is going to be what? It's going to change. Okay, it's going to change. Because that's the next new moon. That's not a Friday. And that's not a Saturday. Usually Friday and Saturday are way over here. Okay? So we have to go off what the Most High said. I don't care what IUIC or ISUPK or all these foolish, these wicked camps. Because you have righteous camps, such as Great Millstone, okay? But you have foolish camps that's sold out, that's paid by the government to teach you lies. You understand? I just brought you through what the Most High said in the scriptures. He said, I use the moon to declare time. I use the moon to show you when the Sabbath is. And it changes. We don't go off of no calendar. We don't go off of no Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's all white people shit. That's all white people shit. Who created the Gregorian calendar? Let's look that up. The Gregorian calendar was introduced by Pope Gregory the 13th in February 1580. That's in the middle of the Renaissance period, man. Why named after him, the actual mathematical and astronomical calculations was developed by the Italian physician, Lilius, and the German Jesuit. Oh, a Jesuit? Oh, hell nah. Mathematician Christopher Calvius. So these are some Edomites. Okay? No, the next Sabbath is not July 14th. Because what? We have a Sabbath every 7 days, brother. So today is what? What's the date? The 2nd? Okay? So today is the 2nd. So the next Sabbath is Sunday, Monday. Sunday, Monday. All right? So the next Sabbath is Sunday night to Monday night. That's the next Sabbath. And then you have another Sabbath the next week, Sunday, Monday, the 12th to the 13th. But the next new moon Sabbath is Monday to Tuesday. All right? Monday to Tuesday. Okay? No. All right, the brother said, I work those days, so I will be breaking the law. It's all good. All right? We are in captivity. Remember this. You are in captivity. You are in slavery. All right? So you may have to work. Okay? And actually, that's a great question that the sister asked, because we can go into many different points from that, man. Okay? Don't be over righteous. We are in captivity. We are in slavery. So you may have to work on the Sabbath. Right? Hey, you may be like down bad, not have a lot of money, and not have that much food, and you may have to cook on the Sabbath, because that's all you got in the fridge is like some hamburger meat or something. You understand? You may have to cook on the Sabbath. Okay? So that's why we tell you, keep the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of your ability. The Most High knows what you have. He knows your situation. He knows that you have to go to work. You don't call off every Sabbath. You're eventually going to lose your job. Right? Now, it may be times like, let's say the Passover. You know, you want to take that day off. Okay, great. You could, do that, plan that ahead. You know? But just the Sabbath, and you might have to go to work, man. You know? All right? We are in captivity. He knows what's going on. Nah, you said you was going to quit to have Sabbath? No. See, that's what these foolish camps will teach you. That's what these over-righteous individuals will teach you out here, man. And they'll have you losing your job. They'll have you, you got a certain camp that tells you if your husband doesn't come into the truth within 6 months, you have to leave him. That's wicked. They out here breaking up marriages. Okay? You know? So, always go back to what the scripture says, man. Don't go off of what man says. Go off of what the scriptures say. You know what I'm saying? The next Passover, that's next year, bro. Next year. All right? We'll tell you when it come out. You know? But I would have to do the calculations on that. But that's next year. I don't got the calculations right now. I don't got it in my head, you know. It's going to be either March or April, right? Either March or April. I know that for a fact. It's going to be March or April. You know, it's just based upon how the Sabbaths and all of that add up. You know what I'm saying? But hey, with that being said, man, that's it, man. Hey, beautiful questions. Beautiful questions. Pray this was edifying. You know, y'all had some great questions. Glad I could serve y'all today, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to get up on out of here. You know. Yeah, I know you sent me that track. I know. I'm going to check it out. You know, I ain't believe you though. You was bullshitting for a couple months. Okay. Okay, the sister said, this is the last question. The sister said, isn't one of the third feasts for men only? Yeah, you have particular feasts where only men can, you know, really men can only talk at the feast pretty much. Like men lead it, you know. It's not a necessary thing for women. Like when we do the Passover, no women come. It's just men, right? Men have to attend. It's in the law. So it's not necessary for you. You know what I'm saying? As a sister. But when we get around these certain feasts, we go into them more in depth, right? Because we're approaching them. So we'll go into them when we get around them, right? But hey, I'm going to get up on out of here, man. Hey, the water for all the precepts and all the help that y'all brothers provided, as always. You know, facing the east, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. And double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone as always. Shalawam, shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. Kwam Yasharahla and the Baba Ball. All right, keep the faith. Keep the faith. Shalawam, shalawam.